Hello fellow duelists, this is Shadow of the Moon, and today I'm going to be showing you my updated Blackwing deck profile for the Edison format. So, not much really has changed in this deck, because obviously with Edison, you're not really going to be changing a whole lot in the cards, because the ban list is set in stone, pretty much like the card types are going to be set in stone and everything, but I did kind of change things around a little bit, and had a lot of fun with this. If you have never played Edison, I do highly recommend you check it out and actually play it. If you are kind of tired of like modern Yu-Gi-Oh or standard Yu-Gi-Oh that we're playing where it's super fast, this is a little bit more slowed down because Edison came out in April 2010. The format was introduced in 2010. So yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun, and Blackwings obviously dominate this format, even with the limit status of Gale and the semi-limited version of Black Whirlwind. You still are able to do so much. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and get straight on into the Blackwing deck profile. So obviously you've got 3 copies of Soraka the Dawn. Soraka the Dawn is very important in this format, because if you control no monsters your opponent does, you can almost summon this card without tributing. And also, if you have the Blackwing monsters on the field, you can basically combine all of their attack, and only that one Blackwing monster can attack. So say, for instance, you have him, Bora, and Gale. Obviously, you give everything to Bora, the spear, and you can make it to where he has 5,400 attack points and does piercing damage. So it's kind of insane, and this is a very good card. Next, you've got 3 copies of Share the Blue Flame. Share the Blue Flame is great because when it attacks and destroys a monster without a battle, you can special summon a Blackwing monster with 1,500 or less attack directly from your deck. So you can go from this in Gale and to go into regular Armor Master, or you can use this and Blizzard, go into Armed Wing, main phase 2, whatever, so on and so forth. This is a very good tech card, and it is 1,800 attack. You're going to notice a lot of Blackwings do not have high attack power. That's because Blackwings don't, other than like Soraka the Dawn. Obviously, like Dragon decks and Edison and even Lightsworn decks can kind of push through that 2,000, 2K attack, but Blackwings still have so much more effects going on. And then obviously the triple Bora. Bora, if you control a Blackwing monster other than Bora the Spirit, you can special summon this card from your hand, and that is amazing because it is not a once per turn, so it is soft once per turn. It's not even actually it's not even once per turn at all, sorry. You can keep doing this over and over again. If you have like 2 Boras in your hand and you have like a normal Blackwing monster, you get special summon both of them from your hand, and he has piercing damage, so he's very, very good because a lot of monsters that have low defense, you can just go right into it and still do piercing damage and knock them out. Then you've got 3 copies of Kalut the Moonshadow. This is your Blackwing hand trap. This is kind of like the hand traps back before hand traps were more of a thing. If you have a Blackwing monster that either attacks or gets attacked, you can drop this card and they gain 1,400 attack during the damage step. And then you have 1 Gale, because Gale was unfortunately limited. Gale still has a lot of potential because Gale is just like Bora, is not a once per turn, and you can cut a monster's attack and defense in half, and it's a great tuner monster to be able to go into Armor Master. And then triple copies of Blizzard. Blizzard, if you normal summon this card, you can have from your graveyard, you can special summon a level 4 lower Blackwing monster from your graveyard. So it's a quick way to be able to go into like Armed Wing or any other play that you want. And Blizzard is just really, really good in this deck. I love Blizzard. And then triple Vayu. Vayu is a tech card. A lot of people, they have played Vayu Turbo, mostly in their Blackwings. I just choose to be Vayu as more of an add-on. Vayu, if you have a Vayu in the deck, if it's in the graveyard, you can banish this and another Blackwing monster to synchro summon a Blackwing monster from your extra deck whose total levels equal the monster and Vayu that you sent. It just gets its effects negated, so it's a good way to be able to go into like Silverwind the Ascendant if you have this and Blackwing Armor Master, because you only need the 2 cards. Otherwise, it does get its effect shut off, but that's completely okay. Vayu, obviously, do keep in mind, this card cannot be used as synchro material while it is face up on the field, so just remember that. And then for the attack cards, 2 Armageddon Knights. Obviously, you can have Warrior Digrapher in here. I'm just having Armageddon Knights in the meantime because they are pretty good, and basically, if you normal summon this card, you can send a Dark monster from your deck to the graveyard, and that can infuel for your Dark Arm Dragon, which works very well on this deck. You easily can get 3 dark monsters in the graveyard to special summon them, and then just keep destroying cards in the field for the monsters that are in the graveyard. So that's going to be it for the monsters. Let's move on to the spells and traps. So obviously 2 Black Whirlwinds because it was semi-limited. But this is a very good card. This is how you start up most of your plays. Obviously you add a Blackwing monster from your deck to your hand that was the lower level than the one that you normal summoned for, and it's very, 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 very good card. it's the main reason you want to play Blackwings. And then for these Destruction, Heavy Storm, and Giant Tornado, I'm not playing MSD or Cold Wave just because I have Icarus Attack in this deck, and Icarus Attack does more than enough. It destroys cards on the field, it doesn't even destroy spells and traps, but this is kind of like your back row clear if you want to get rid of it. And then you have Allure of Darkness. Allure of Darkness, it was limited to 1, let you draw 2 cards, banish a dark monster. Brain Control and Mind Control, these are to take your opponent's cards and use them for synchro summoning. And that's it for the spells. In Edison format, you play a lot of traps. So you're going to have 3 Icarus attacks. This is the main card in the deck. And then I'll pop this one for Delta Crow Anti-Reverse. So basically, Icarus attack, tribute a Blackwing monster to destroy 2 cards on the field. And it's mandatory, it has to be exactly 2 cards. But it destroys 2 cards on the field, which can be a great card. You basically use this to target Vayu, put Vayu in the graveyard, and then from there go into like your synchro plays from the graveyard. And then Delta Crow, if you control 3 Blackwing monsters face up on the field, you can play this card from your hand, kind of like a hand trap, and it destroys all set spell and traps on the field if you have a Blackwing monster on the field. Alright, and then 2 Bottomless, because you do need that removal, 2 Dimension Fissures. You need that banishment to be able to stop them, because you do play a lot of traps in this format. You play Solemn Judgment, 1 copy. Solemn Judgment kind of, God says no, stops you, you pay half your life. Mirror Force. Mirror Force is still, at this time, one of the best trap cards. And then you have Trap Dust Shoot. If your opponent has 4 more cards, they have to discard a card from your hand. So if you go first, as soon as they draw, you play Trap Dust Shoot, they have to discard something. And then you've got Starlight Road. So if a card that destroys cards on the field, you can activate this and negate the effect and special summon a Stardust Dragon from your extra deck. And then this is my personal tech card because I've always wanted to put this in the deck. Dark Spirit of the Silent. You don't have to play this card. This is just personally for me. I love being able to use Dark Spirit of the Silent because it is one of my favorite trap cards of all time, especially from the older series of Yu-Gi-Oh! So yeah, I do find it really fun to be able to play. So it's a 41 card deck. And then for your Blackwings, your extra deck, you've got Silverwind the Ascendant, you've got Blackwing Armor Master, and you've got 2 Blackwing Armed Wing. I knocked this down because I am playing Chimera Tech, and you only need really 1 in the deck. And then you have Silverwind. Silverwind is amazing as well because Silverwind lets you destroy up to 2 face-up monsters whose attack is equal to this card's defense. Or whose defense is equal to this card's attack. So you get up to 2,800, so that's actually pretty good. And then Armed Wing has a piercing effect, just like Boar of the Spear, but when it attacks a defense position monster, it increases the attack to 2,800 to the end phase of the turn. And then we have the other cards. You've got your Mistworm, you've got Colossal Fighter, you've got Thought Roller Archfiend, you've got your Dark Armed Dragon, or Dark End Dragon, sorry, your Stardust Dragon, you've got your Black Rose Dragon, your Goyo Guardian, you've got your Bryonic, because Trishula was not a thing at this time. You've got Magical Android, Ally of Justice, and then lastly, if your opponent plays machines, you've got your Chimera Tech Fortress Dragon. So, alright, so that's going to be it for this profile. I hope you guys enjoyed it. This deck is a lot of fun. I love being able to play Blackwings even in 2010. There's just something kind of special about it, being able to play it all the way back in 2010, because as you can see, Blackwings were still very, very, very competitive, even during their heyday. And unfortunately, Blackwings, as the years went on, did get less support, but within the past, like, I think 6 years, 6 years or so, we've gotten, you know, Oster, we've gotten Farmer Master, we've gotten Simoon, and then we've gotten a plethora of Blackwing cards and the Darkwing Blast that came out in 2022. So, alright, so that's going to be it for this deck profile. I hope you enjoyed it, and thank you so much for everybody that watches all my content. You guys rock from the bottom of my heart. Thank you, and with that, see you guys next time. Later.